Oh, well, Hugh's just rolling a cigarette. This seems like a good time to give a content warning for this particular project. There may be some effing and jeffing, some coarse language that the young ones might not want to hear.
Hey, Rob, they just like old friends. Old friends never taste this good. I heard that.
What's up?
Yo, check it. Face in your face. Those farts taste like mace.
Anyway.
By which I mean, welcome to episode 6 of The Daily Grind.
I'm Hudson.
I'm Theo.
Check it. How'd it go, Theo?
Well, it was a good watch. It was
It was a good watch. And may I just say, Theo, I'm not happy that it's still a good watch. I'm enjoying it far too much still. Which is good.
I think that means we've chosen a good film to do this project with.
I honestly thought by now I'd be tearing my hair out.
Yeah.
I'm really not.
We're 6 days in, and I think we were saying yesterday, the scenes that we like keep getting better, but also the annoying bits of the movie keep getting worse.
Yeah, so I think you're right about all the bits that are funny anyway. We're just noticing different bits about the same scene which is funny, so there's lots of that going on. But yeah, I thought it was a good watch today. I laughed quite a lot today, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if it means that we've already lost the plot, that we can watch the same film over and over again and still extract so much enjoyment out of it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When do you think it will be the time when we're pulling our hair out? I think we're just both in a shitty mood and we're just like...
I think I've said before, it's going to sneak up on us. There's going to be one day where it's just like, fuck this.
Don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Not today, though, people.
Not today.
So let's today's quite a big day for the Daily Grind, Theo.
Yeah. Well, I started editing yesterday because I've been working and watching Grind and doing this in all my free time. So yesterday was my first day editing using Audacity.
Shout out.
It's a great free audio editing software for sure. I haven't had any problems with it. It's not crashed at all. I've had one not responding. I think it helps that I've got a gaming laptop, quite an old one from 2015 or something. It seems to handle the audio fine. It's quite short audio files, but I've published the first episode today.
Big. This is a big day for the Daily Grind because, if I may interject quickly, I'm going to anyway. You just dropped it, man, which is cool. If it was up to me, I would have minced around. I would have been not sure of myself. I would have been like, oh, yeah. Theo dropped it, sent it out to our friends, our family, which is good, man. You did the right thing. I think I would have minced around too much.
I mean, yeah, it was ready. This morning I set up the YouTube video with that brilliant thumbnail, Employee of the Month.
Love it. Yeah.
And I've got to say, I think that guy's my favourite character.
Of the whole film?
I think so, yeah. He's brilliant.
He is brilliant, yeah.
He's so good.
The manager of Chile and such.
Yeah. No, two scoops is plenty. That's enough. 2 scoops is plenty.
2 scoops of cheddar, 1 scoop of onion, my friend.
Big shout out to Christy as well.
Yeah, safe, man.
Christy mixed our theme, and he's done an amazing job. And through the power of editing, as I said, I only edited it yesterday, I managed to put it into the first 2 episodes. And then Christy, the fucking legend, comes back and mixes the title of the show into it. So from episode 3, I know this is episode 6, but from episode 3 you'll be hearing the new and improved mix.
It's sick, man. It's so sick.
I've got to say,
it's so sick.
Mad respect to Christy, because he did that first one in a couple of hours after I sent him the clip and asked him if he could do anything with it. And then he heard the podcast and then sent me that.
Sick, man.
What a legend.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. And shout out to, a few people, man. Just watch the film straight up and listen to our podcast, watch the film. I don't know, I think that's pretty sick, man. I thought that was cool.
It's great.
People said they enjoyed it.
Big up, yeah.
And I hope they're telling the truth there.
Well, the people that are only watching it, through a sense of duty, probably aren't going to get far, are they?
And listening to it, I was happy with the editing. Shout out to you, man. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
You smashed the editing. First thing you've ever edited, or have you done videos and things?
No, never.
Never? Yeah, nice.
Never. Literally watched a YouTube video on how to use Audacity, and the same guy has a tutorial on how to publish podcasts. which I'm following.
Nice, yeah. Good job, man. Yeah, I was happy with that. Really happy with that. Because
Shout out to him.
I think I said to you, oh man, like, let's just chat and drop it. Like, as in just put it out there. And I think after listening to you and actually the editing process, that would have made for a very grinding podcast.
Yeah.
Cut that.
Never. For those who don't know, we're in our garage.
Mm-hmm.
Garage? La-di-da, Mr. Frenchman.
What do you call it?
Car hole. I am actually going to cut that though. Little trade secret, I don't think I told Hudson yet. If we get too extraneous on the quotes and it turns into just two giggling schoolgirls, I've just cut it. Because it's not fun to listen to us butcher a quote.
No, fair enough. All right.
Some of the quotes I've kept in for sure, but sometimes we're just like...
Is there a lot of like giggling and things that you've cut out? A lot of...
Not a lot. Sometimes we just laugh for too long though. So I shorten the laughter. But
we're laughing for hours. Each episode is 2 hours as well.
I also have to cut out all the cigarette inhales, exhales, as much as the lighting as possible, because you'll hear, particularly in episode 2, there was a couple that I couldn't get rid of, because one of us was halfway through a sentence when you hear the flick of a lighter. And I've had to edit out.
Nice, man. Well, shall we crack on with the film? So, there is a little theory I want to do.
Oh, has Hudson got a theory?
I've got a theory, man.
Finally.
I was in yesterday's episode. We spoke about how much we were thinking about the film just in our daily life. Honestly, on Saturday, I was like a nutter. I was obsessed with the film. I was quoting it all day long. Today, I think that calmed down a bit.
Yeah, I think so. This is probably the longest gap between recording that we've had. Because we filmed it at 3 o'clock. No, sorry, we started recording at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yesterday. And now it's what?
11:15.
No, 10:45.
Oh, is that clock right now? Oh, you changed it. The hours gone
so
forward today.
Yeah, exactly. So the hours gone forward, which means we've lost an hour, I suppose. So it's about 27 hours or something between viewings, which is the longest we've gone on this project so far. And bizarrely, I think it made the film so fresh. It felt like I just hadn't seen the film in ages.
Dude, it's bad. But don't you think that's bad at the same time? We like addicted to grind. The fact that we still find it so fucking funny. That's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, shall I crack on with my theory?
Yes.
So, as we have mentioned before, Tony Hawk is in the film. Is it just that one scene where he's skating the vert, or is it a couple scenes?
No, I think it's that one scene.
The first sort of skate jam.
Yeah, the first vert footage you see is Tony Hawk and Bob Burnquist shredding, and does Jimmy Wilson make it an appearance in that thing? I think he does.
No,
I think that's second. It's Bob Burnquist and Jimmy Wilson is the second vert scene.
Bob Burnquist, what's up? Hugh Howard. No, so my theory is Tony Hawk said he would do the film. I put in brackets here. These are my notes, people. I'm a note freak now. I put in brackets here for free. I doubt that. But in exchange, he's like, you've got to wear birdhouse clothes, and a couple of birdhouse decks are thrown in there. Did Tony Hawk start birdhouse?
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah. So there's a lot of birdhouse clothes going on with the main characters.
There's a fair amount.
Yeah.
But
do you think that's part of the thing, or do you think at the time of filming, birdhouse was just like the biggest thing with the kids?
They're bound to have a certain amount of brands that just make an appearance because they're so prominent in skateboarding.
Yeah.
I reckon Hurley has a deal with them.
So do you think Hurley paid them?
Yeah, there's a couple of brand deals. Like Butterfinger shows up everywhere. Hurley shows up everywhere.
Butterfinger's in it quite a lot. There's a few billboards. Not billboards, sorry. Like
banners. And
Man's
got a Butterfinger on the bus.
On the bus?
Just before he takes a shit.
And he's doing...
he starts eating a Butterfinger.
He's
taking a shit.
An impression of Jimmy Wilson, isn't he? And he's like, ladies, what's up? I'm Jimmy Wilson. And he's like got the Butterfinger in his mouth, isn't he?
Tonight you're going to be my love slave.
So I don't know, do you think that Tony Hawk was like, yeah, just chuck him a couple of Birdhouse t-shirts and get on with it, or not really?
I reckon all the pro skaters that made an appearance were paid, because all of the skating shots are done very professionally. And I mean like film studio professional, not actual skateboarders professional.
Yeah.
Because again, you can tell the editing is
And all the pros are going
Not-
for it as well, aren't they? They're not just pissing around.
Well, no, I think they are to a certain extent. It seems like they would just land stuff that looks cool to the noobs. Like in a skate video, these days particularly, and I'm sure back in like the early 2000s, people would spend days, weeks trying to get one line or one trick. You know, this is all clearly stuff that was just thrown together in an afternoon. Like each scene and stuff, which is like what a skate jam is.
Do you think those skate jams were real skate jams that they sort of filmed in, or do you think they built the whole set, including the ramps and everything? I think a few of them might have been skate jams that they were just
I think
like,
a lot
we'll
of them
film them.
probably actually were.
Yeah,
And they paid a certain amount to have to get in there and film, because they literally go all over the country. You can see the events, they look like they're genuinely sponsored, because they've got van stickers, globe stickers, stuff like that all over the place.
Yeah, and if you were just building a set.
Yeah, for this film it was like a relatively small budget.
Yeah, what was it, 5 mil?
Yeah, they go from Chicago to, Tucson to...
Chicago, and then is it to Tucson straight after
No,
Chicago?
no. They go various places.
But in the film, what
But
do we
regardless, they go all across the country.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember the location, because they go from Chicago to... Is it where Jimmy was discovered? I can't remember where they
see? That's right, but that's not like a set-up skate jam, is it?
No, but you can tell it's like a different environment, like a different ecology to where they start. And particularly
True,
when you
yeah,
get down
true.
to like Arizona, it's like deserts and stuff.
Yeah. So you think there are some of the skate jams are actual skate jams that they've just filmed? It's really hard to say.
It's
really
hard. It's hard to say. If I had to put any money on it, I'd probably say yes.
Because if they're not, they've done a damn fine job on that, I'll tell you.
Which doesn't sound like grind at all, does it?
You just no, not at all. You've just mentioned the desert. Shall we talk about that homeless guy that's just in the middle of the desert?
Yeah, every time I see him, and I'm thinking, I want to talk about him.
It's always like, huh,
Yeah, but so they're walking. They've just had the van stolen.
wham bam, steal the van. We've spoken about it, yeah.
And they're walking where Dustin starts freaking out and being like,
Oh, I see Jimmy Wilson coming over the hill. Oh, what's that? And he's holding a scholarship for me. And he's like, no, we're in the middle of the desert. And that's when Jimmy Wilson's tour bus inevitably comes
Yeah,
over the hill
straight over
in the
the
middle
hill.
of the desert. But it's before that, isn't it? They're walking.
yeah, just before that, there's a
It
home.
is like the middle of the desert. And there's this homeless guy and he puts his hand out, as in for like change. And it's just like, dude, what? Who the hell are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, how? I think we should look for clues in this film to try and nail down who this homeless guy is and how he managed to get into the middle of a desert in Arizona.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. Yeah, let's.
I seriously doubt there will be any. Since that's a throwaway joke. I don't know if the joke is that, there's homeless people everywhere, even in the middle of the desert.
Oh, maybe.
Or
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Just
yeah.
what a ridiculous place to see around a
I think
homeless
the
dude.
joke probably is what a ridiculous place for a homeless dude because it's the middle of the desert. So that's something I noted down. We've spoken about the clown college in excess.
Every episode.
Yeah, every episode. But,
So here's the mandatory mention of the clown college.
and
Pointless scene.
how ridiculous it is. So when they first show up at the clown college and Matt's parents are like surprised to see him and then Sweet Lou says, these are Matt's parents?
Yeah.
And then I think, is it Dustin says, they really are clowns?
Yeah.
So my theory is here, if Matt, Dustin and Eric went to the same school, how did this whole notion stay secret?
Because they ran off to clown college. So when Matt
Okay.
started high school,
Yeah.
they weren't in clown college. They were
Right.
like an all family. I reckon his dad looks like an accountant,
Yeah, one of those, isn't he? Yeah.
maybe a store manager for like a Walmart or something. I don't know. A semi-respectable.
Whatever Americans do.
I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
A semi-respectable professional.
So maybe Eric knew
And they
because
ran off. Yeah.
Matt's living in Eric's garage, isn't he?
I can imagine Matt would keep that quite close to his chest, you know? It's quite an embarrassing thing. It's like, oh yeah, my parents are literally clowns.
Yeah, because he hates it, doesn't he?
Especially because he's a bit of a rad, kind of like, grungy, like emo kind of guy.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this in the viewing, actually, how he's got that classic kind of leather wristband with the metal spikes in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I used to have one of those.
Yeah, I can see your point. And that sort of explains why he's living in Eric's parents' garage as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Because they're all the same age.
If he's like graduation year of high school, he can't like leave.
Oh, sorry.
He can't like not finish high school. They've literally just finished high school, man.
Sorry, not we. I've just totally missed something as well. Dustin said they really are clowns. So probably he's told Dustin and Eric
That's a good
because
point,
he's like
actually.
they really are clowns.
Yeah.
So they must know because you can't just rock up to
Yeah.
Eric's house and be like, "Bruh, I need to stay here," without sort of giving some backstory.
And he's saying, "Oh, they're clowns." Dustin and Eric taking it to be like, "Oh, they're just a couple of jokes."
Yeah. And it's like they really are clowns. And then because Sweet Lou's a few years older, and he's like, "These are Matt's parents." That makes sense, man. Yeah.
Nice spot, Hudson.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
No, I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. Considering the continuity in this film is dog shit.
That's
Apart from that.
That was the one thing you managed to allude to in a.
No, okay. That I
In a
respect
good
that.
way.
What I like about it as well is that we've just come to that conclusion
Hmm.
in the podcast. It was a good little chat. I enjoyed that.
And it only took 6 consecutive viewings to get that throwaway line. This is what we're in it for, guys.
Yeah,
This is why we're doing this. We're psycho bastards.
We're psychos. We're psychos.
Hey dog, hey dog, hey dog, hey dog. I've been all around the world and I'm rolling about it, but my dog.
Hey dog, hey dog. Yeah, just for me and for the listeners, please do my favourite wigger bit. You know, the booyah bit.
I can't remember the setup. I don't even like the song.
I don't like this song.
Hey yo, we'll show you how we do. Booyah! That was with the actions and everything.
Yeah.
You can't appreciate it on
Not
the
good
podcast.
for a podcast, but it's just so funny. That was for me. Sorry. Can I mention something else about continuity, I guess? Maybe not continuity, but just a weird ass sort of bit. So Jamie, the pro, has been sponsored for our SIG board slides. The love interest as well. At the penultimate skate park they go to in Tucson, she's like, "Oh, so are you guys heading to Santa Monica?"
Yeah.
Which is the end of the tour, I guess. And
Certainly the next stop.
okay, the next stop. And then Eric is like, "No, what's going on in Santa Monica?" So they've tracked their steps on this skate tour every single leg of the way thus far.
Yeah, they've been following Jimmy Wilson the entire time.
That is their goal. That is the point in the movie, that they're following Jimmy Wilson. And then Eric, the main guy, is like, "No? What?
And
Santa Monica?
and
what
the
the hell's going on in Santa Monica?"
And the instigator of this whole trip.
Exactly.
This whole trip was his idea.
And they don't know they're going to Santa Monica, which is just absolutely outrageous.
He's dropping the ball. I will give him that it's kind of pre-internet.
How do you think they...
Well, not pre-internet, sorry. It's
Yeah, this
But
film
it's-
was 1910.
it's pre-smartphone, so no one had internet on their phones. You know, you'd have to go to a library or something to.
Look up where the next leg of the skate tour is.
Yeah, if the skate tour even has a website.
How would you follow a skate tour? Posters and stuff? You'd just be like, "Oh, we're here on the 26th of May and we'll be here."
I
on
guess. Yeah.
whatever.
I don't know how. Was it Extreme? The Extreme Sports Channel on like cable networks and stuff. They'd probably have a list of the tour dates. But like, any skate shop as well, to be fair.
Yeah, what, they would be promoting the tour and stuff.
Particularly
yeah.
in the local shops.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It seems they followed it the whole time without any problem. And then suddenly,
What?
The
going on in Santa
The crescendo of the film, they're like, huh? I had no idea. Can we talk about Sweet Lou, which...
I'm always happy to talk about
Yeah,
Sweet Lou.
he's definitely a fan favourite, these two fans' favourite. Can we talk about how, like, sort of the radness, and I'm using that word on purpose, and the coolness of the film drops when they get to Santa Monica? Now, hear me out here. Because Sweet Lou turns into a melt.
The chocolatiest of melts.
Sweet Lou turns into a melt when he gets into Santa Monica because he's got the love interest. And then, obviously, Eric's got the love interest. Matt's all cleaned up and stuff.
And it's the first successful chat up.
Yeah, because he's skating like a pro.
Hey, baby. Not much. I'm just looking for something special. You see something you like? Maybe. Oh my god.
That's right. But, like, there are a couple of rad dudes who have literally toured the country almost, and the film just turns into this, like, whole love fest when they get to Santa Monica. It's not cool, man. It should just be...
It is a bit of a downer on the film, especially when I was that age. I was all about the skateboarding. Sure, female attention is nice, but I was all about the shredding. Blowjob or a day trip to Bay 66? Give me the Bay 66 any day, son. Which is funny, because now I barely skate and I still don't get blowjobs, so... I enjoyed it while I could.
What? That was a little admission deep into Theo's soul. I got deep, man. I got deep as hell.
It wasn't meant to be deep, it was meant to be funny.
Why don't you just direct me to the 40s, man? Shall we...
Direct me to the 40s.
Shall we talk a little bit about the credits? So we watched the credits with a bit of concentration, shall I say, this time. We actually...
Well, every other time we've gotten to the credits and just been like, nah.
Like, let's do this. It's late. Let's just do this. We've been watching this film 5 days in a row. But we watched them today.
6 days.
What recording is this?
Number 6.
Number 6. Cool.
Yeah.
So, a little weird thing that I quite enjoyed. Ryan Sheckler's in the film,
Yeah.
who's a kid that shows up Eric.
And who's obviously Ryan Sheckler. Any skateboarder would instantly recognise him as like Ryan Sheckler.
Sure. And he's credited as Rod St. James. Which is just, I don't know, they don't name him. Why wouldn't you just call him, like, Skater Kid or something?
Or Ryan Sheckler as himself.
Yeah, or that, yeah.
Although, do they credit Bam like that? Because Bam's credited, but I can't remember.
Oh, damn. I should have looked out for the credit for Bam.
And also, how they name Winona,
Mm.
Wham Bam Still the Landlady.
Wham, bam, still the van.
Is it Denise, Matt's sister?
Yeah, yeah.
Neither of whom they mentioned by name.
No.
Maybe they did in like the extended version.
Yeah, maybe. Which we would like to get our hands on.
Oh, if anyone can get their hands on the extended version of
Send
this
it
film,
to us.
oh, please. Or not. I just realised what we asked for.
No, but for a special watch for episode 10
Yeah.
or something. But, yeah, Rod St. James, I thought that was a weird name to give Ryan Sheckler.
Also, none of the Wigger crew are given character names.
No, it's Rival 1, Rival 2, Rival 3. That's that.
Yeah, because the other guy's just an extra.
Yeah.
Oh no, he figured out what he does.
Oh, yes.
The whole point of the fourth skater in that film is to light the firework they chuck into the super duper skate van.
Yeah.
Quite early on in the film.
Yeah, it's pretty early on.
But these characters that have less screen time are named characters. But none of the rival skaters are given any names.
No, I can sort of see why, they're just the rivals, man. No need to worry about them. Something else that I noticed through watching the credits, because it's all the cuts and bails and stuff, I think this film would have been a fun project to work on. I think all the guys seem like a bit of a laugh, and I think it would have been good fun.
Hanging out with pro skaters.
Yeah.
And you can see in some of the outtakes the setup that they have for filming it. And it looks like a pretty serious setup,
Yeah.
As you'd expect for I hesitate to say major motion picture, but
What?
certainly a motion picture.
What counts as a major motion picture,
I don't know. I didn't realise this was a philosophy podcast. That's all.
What does a motion picture even mean, man? Aren't we all part of this motion
Sorry,
picture?
did you say emotion picture or motion picture?
What did I say? I don't know. I looked up Bam Margera on Instagram. 2 million followers. That's pretty good, man.
Is Bam still...
I know he's a big deal, but
Yeah.
he was a big deal a long time ago. So I thought 2 million was pretty rad.
How many's the Daily Grind got?
Hold on, let me just... 2.1 million, so... we.
Oh no, you misread that. 0. El Zilcho.
Yeah, no, I'm joking. So, shall we talk some numbers now?
Yeah?
Shall we hit them up with some coronavirus numbers?
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, so been a big old jump today. There's 19,000 confirmed cases and 1,228 people have died in the UK,
Shit.
which is
so...
a big jump from what I said the other day.
Which was like 800.
I think so. Yeah, so it's been a big old jump.
But that's how exponential growth works. That's why it's so important to get it under control in the early days, because the numbers just spiral out of control before you realise what's happening and before you decide to get a handle on it.
So, which brings me into my next point, I guess. Just another little thing that was released today is that they're talking about 6 months before the UK returns to normal, which is sort of, that's the BBC, which is longer than I think everybody sort of initially thought, maybe.
I was going to say that sounds quite optimistic.
Oh, okay, fair enough, yeah.
Because if you think that it's still growing exponentially. It means that the lockdown is yet to have any effect, particularly since the number of deaths has increased by 400 or 500 since yesterday. Like, it's going to be a little while before we see the effects of any lockdown, and even longer before people start returning to any element of kind of normal life.
Dude, are we, let's say 6 months as a minimum. Do the maths. How many grind watches is that?
182.5.
Okay, so you've been thinking.
No, I just I don't know how many days in a year.
Are we going to watch grind that many days in a row? That'd be crazy. Crazy good. That'd be crazy sick.
See what happens, man. If we're locked down, we've got nothing else to do.
Blimey. So, episode 10, I think we should mark the occasion. Maybe we should watch the commentary on episode 10? Or do you want to save that? Because that's still early days.
It's still pretty early days, and I feel like episode 10 would only be a third of the way through the bare minimum of what we want to do.
Okay, so maybe save the commentary, do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Alright. I want to get some reviews going. So I want to delve deep, look up some reviews for Grind, some professionals, see what they've got to say. Because they're not shredding.
They're not shredding, unlike the list of skaters that make cameos in these films. And I mean, skaters like Kareem Campbell, Bob Burnquist, Brian Summer, Mike Vallely, Ryan Sheckler, Bam, obviously. Bam! They're like big time skaters, and they make enough of an appearance, particularly Bam, who's got like, heaps of lines.
Yeah, he features massively.
They must have all gotten like a pretty tasty paycheck out of it.
Oh, so you think there'll be some content out there that we can find?
Potentially. I don't know how many of these skaters will talk about the film.
I think...
Honestly, can't remember my point.
I think we were just talking about... who knows? Oh, reviews. We were talking about reviews.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see some critical reviews. See how many agree with us, how many disagree.
I think, considering it's 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't think we'll get many people agreeing with us.
Yeah, but 6 out of 10 on Metacritic.
Is that the same sort of searching, like crunch the numbers and give you an average sort of thing?
No, I think that is literally... I honestly don't know, but I think that's like the critics' rating. So when critics saw this film, they thought, this is slightly above average.
We'll see, man. We'll find some reviews. Maybe we could do that for episode 10 of the podcast.
It seems like we should mark it with something, but we're not even a week in yet.
Shall we, I'll start dropping emails to Bam's people, who can talk to my people, and we can talk about maybe getting him on the show.
Yeah, if Bam wants to come and talk about his experience on a film he probably barely remembers from 17 years ago, it would be much appreciated.
Even an email back would be pretty sick.
Or we'll get Greg on the show, that'd be good.
Get him on the show via Skype.
Of course.
Because stay at home.
Yeah, stay at home.
I think we've said what we need to say about the film today.
Yeah, maybe, since it's been a bit of a running theme, best and worst parts of the film today?
Oh shit, yeah, you're right, man, sorry. So my favourite, I actually noted this down. I think my favourite scene today was just Chili and Such in general. The first time they go to Chili and Such, and the guy goes up to Matt, and do you remember the quote, Theo?
Goes up to Dustin.
Sorry, it goes up to Dustin. I think you do a better impression. Do you remember the quote, or shall I? I've got it noted, so should I read it?
I ordered the double chili ranchano, and I got a double chunk gut bomb with cheese by mistake.
I'm sorry, I'd like what I ordered.
Yeah, but you've already eaten the gut bomb.
I couldn't help it if I didn't figure it out until I swallowed it. And then he gives this like little nod to Dustin, as if like he's supposed to know what the fuck he means. And then Dustin goes, "You really think you need another?"
That's when the manager is stating the customer policy.
"Do you have your receipt?" And then he like shoves it in their faces. Give him what he ordered. So that was my favourite. Honestly, I didn't really think about my least favourite too much. I just noted that down because I particularly laughed at it today.
I think my most favourite that snuck up on me, you've already alluded to it, in the credits.
Yeah, okay.
Where they're talking, it's the rival skaters.
Yeah.
And you see the director in the window.
He's speaking to him through the Chevrolet window. Yeah.
Like, the main skater says, "Why don't you direct me to the 40s?
Yeah, and it's hilarious.
It's a brilliant line.
Why don't you direct us to the 40s? Least favourite part? Good question.
Mr. Rivers, another great character.
Mr. Rivers.
Mr. Rivers. Wasn't my least favourite part of the film, but I feel the heavy metal rules scene, the bowl scene, where they stay in the motel,
Yeah.
that wasn't quite as enjoyable as it has been everything else has just been hyped up in hilarity, and that just
Felt a
it
bit flat,
slightly
yeah.
flat today.
Yeah.
Still a good scene, and I still think that's one of the best skate montages in it, despite the fact it's the only scene you see them actually film anything. You get a little glimpse of what Matt is filming, and Matt sucks at filming.
Oh yeah. Matt sucks at filming.
That's the only thing about that scene that kind of detracts from it. Apart from that, I think that's a great montage and a good scene.
You know what? Just because I can't think of one, I haven't got a least favourite part up today. It was a pretty good watch, and I think I'm just hyped by our friends sort of digging the podcast. So
Getting the first
nice.
episode out and actually having something to show the general public.
So yeah, shout out to everybody.
And a big shout out to Christy, man.
Yeah, man, the
You've
beat,
killed it.
the
Absolutely
intro
killed
was
it.
sick. I've just been pretty hyped up on it actually getting released. So yeah, nice man. I've been Hudson.
We need to either come up with a formulated outro or Hello Internet style hard cut.